Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? My name is Radgon, and today we have about 10 minutes to help you improve on a very specific part of the body. Today I'm going to try my hardest to explain to you how to draw hands within the time span of 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, I will aim to teach you everything that I know about drawing hands so that you may be able to do them a little bit easier than you have in the past. So, seeing as we have wasted 1 minute already, let's go on to our drawing, okay? So, most people think that hands have a very specific shape, but hands don't really have a specific shape. Hands are very malleable. Hands are like little tentacles, so they're gonna have a bunch of different ways to draw them, right? But a very easy way to start and learn how the process works is by starting with a box or with a circle. If we start with a box, you're going to want to find these angles coming out of your hand. You're going to find one angle for your index finger, and you're going to bring it back in for volume. One for your pinky, you go on the outside first, and then you bring it back in. And then this is going to give you spacing. You need two more of those same spacings in that remaining space. That's going to give you access to drawing two more fingers. Your thumb always comes from your wrist. You start with the outside and you bring it back in. Okay? By overlapping lines, you can choose to draw the lines going like this, and it produces a hand from the top. If you draw your elements from the other side, you end up with your knuckle line. And you overlap the other line. So, understanding the very basic flow of your body, you have one index, one pinky, one thumb. Bring them in for volume. And you have access to 3-fingered hands, 4-fingered hands, stuff like that. Overlapping the line, the shape for the thumb, gives you access to creating depth. That's kind of cool, huh? So now let's apply this, but to different places. If we want to draw hands in different sizes, we just have to follow those lines in different ways. Okay? It's a very simple process, and it's facilitated if you actually spend your time drawing things in perspective, like circles and volume. But you don't have to struggle very much. You just need to find 3 lines coming out of that circle, and they don't have to just come straight up. If you draw circles like this, you can draw those lines going in any direction. So, adding extra fingers, you can add extra fingers. You can make less fingers. So understanding the hand is also about knowing that it's not just a ball or a circle. It's more so about learning where the knuckles hit. Why? Because your knuckle is the top and the bottom of your hand. From the bottom, you get the little palm part of your hand. From the top, you get the little bony part. If you follow the top, the bone, it makes it easier to find the volume after. Okay? You always follow the top where the structure is rigid, aka the bone structure, and then you overlap shapes to create volume. Finding the edge of a shape and then bringing in for volume is going to repeat itself constantly throughout the whole entire part of your body. Okay? It's not just your hands that do that, right? That's a really easy way to draw hands, by the way. But then it's also your arms and your legs. Most of it has volume towards one side or a rigid structure, and then it has volume attached to it. So understanding that is going to help you. Understanding a rigid structure with volume can teach you a rib cage really easy. The head, the legs. Okay, the arms, rigid into volume. It's going to be very easy for you to think about it like that if you pay attention to that. Okay, so now let's pay attention to those two things. We're going to choose any shape. We're going to draw two lines, and we're going to draw one for my knuckles. Then the volume goes inside. Whee! Volume, volume, volume. Anything that I overlap can be fingers sticking out, fingers bending over. But understanding the two outside parts of it is what makes it really easy. Now, one more tip for you guys so that you understand the wrist a little bit better. Okay? So whenever you're drawing your wrist into your hand, it's going to be about the same size. It's not going to be much bigger or wider. Your knuckle or your thumb is what makes that wider. Okay? A little bit on your pinky side too. A little bit. But most of the time, it's very relatively the same size. So now this is the really cool trick. This is the lines that we drew, boom, boom, and then we bring it in, right? So that's easy. But your wrist, if you think about it like this, think about your wrist as two big cylinders. Okay? Wherever you draw your wrist, draw two circles inside and divide it. When you do that, you teach yourself how to draw those bone structures. And then when you do that, all you have to do is think about this. You go, one side goes to my index finger. One side goes to my pinky. And then this side generates my thumb. So this one generates these two bones, and then this one generates one. This splits your arm in two, and all you need is two more fingers. So you can do this in a variety of ways. Any way that you put them, you can have a variety of hand gestures and stuff. They don't have to even be aligned. Like, you don't have to align your fingers. If you don't align them, it gives you different looks, different things, different hand expressions. Okay? When you don't align them, it makes it really, really fun. When you start aligning them, that's when you get the rigid little boxy hands. Okay? Hey, look at this. They all line up like a robot. Okay? But the moment that you go, okay, nah, let's throw one here, right? So now this finger is going to be a little bit off, a little bit off, a little bit off. We already know that the knuckle is the top part of my hand. So wherever the last knuckle is, that's the top of my hand. Wherever the last knuckle is, that's the bottom of my hand. So it doesn't matter how many fingers I add. I already know the top and the bottom of my hand. And since this finger goes to a big part of my wrist, right? We divided it in two. Now I know exactly where my things go, and I don't have to struggle as much. Yeah? And with that, my friends, that is 10 minutes of knowledge with Rod. Thank you so much for your time, your attention. If you guys feel like sharing this with anybody so that other people can learn as well. And tomorrow I will be making another video, and then next, and the next, and the next, and the next, until we are just done and we move this app too. Love you all. Take care. See you guys soon.